It is 10 o'clock. Good morning. Meeting of the Gilliam County Court is called to order. A quorum has been established. And we will now have the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A beautiful spring day. Are there any additions or revisions to the agenda? No. I do want to acknowledge the passing of Phil Brady, who is the Wasco County Commissioner yesterday.
Oh, no.
Yes.
What happened to me?
Don't know. I haven't heard any details. So I just wanted to acknowledge that.
I've heard that. Got it.
He was
Yeah.
running again too.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's been
it was.
years. That's right, I think I need.
No, he won the first year I did, because I went to county college with him,
Yeah,
but he was running again too.
yeah. Okay, 3.0 correspondence public comment. Individuals wishing to address the county court may do so at this time. Speakers are asked to raise their hand, be recognized by the chair, give name and city, and limit comments to 3 minutes. Is there any public comment? No public comment. Is there any online public comment? All right, 3.1 in your package, you have fiscal year 26 special projects grant final report for Gilliam County 4-H International Club. 3.2 fiscal year 25 special projects for Condon Youth Baseball. 3.3 fiscal year 26 special projects grant final report on the Scholarship Foundation. Are there any questions about that? 4.0.
Just a second.
Oh.
Cause I think Brooklyn wants me, I don't know if she wants to talk about this just a second. Brooklyn, did you want to talk about the grant final reports?
No, sorry. I just wanted to be able to talk when we went over the grant agreements.
Great.
Just wasn't showing this time. Yeah.
Good.
All right, 4.0 consent agenda. 4.1, the only item on the consent agenda is consider approval of agreement with Oregon Health Authority for financing of public health services. As you know, we get those periodically throughout the year. This is another routine agreement.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Unfinished business, just acknowledging that we had a heavy agenda last time. We took care of a lot of the fiscal year items and budget. So this one is fairly light. So we don't have a lot on the agenda today. 6.0 new business. 6.1 consider approval of revised capital investment, operational support, and special projects grant agreements. Brooklyn, would you address the county court?
Yes. You guys all should have my briefing that we attached in last week's documents. We received some revisions from our attorney this week that I gave you guys this morning. Minimal addition or like minimal revisions from what there was last week. Everything that's changed has gone over in the briefing. Again, this came about when we made those grant agreements with the two cities for their economic development. And when the attorney was reviewing them at that time, they just recommended some review and some revisions to those agreements. So that's what we've done. Really, it just significantly increases the legal protections for the county. And then the other big thing of note is that for both the operational support grant and the special project grants, they are proposing that we require that quarterly written reports containing like supporting documentation for the costs and expenses associated with their grant to be filed with my office, the county court. That would be the largest change. Other than that, it's just a lot of language adjustments to provide better protections for the county.
Okay, so the changes that were made, since we received the document in the packet, the recent changes from legal counsel, you said they were minor, but could you go over those?
We added agreement term links. Those weren't listed in there. The term links, it wasn't just like I couldn't just put a hard stop date, which was more specific to the capital investment grants because we allow them to kind of set a date that may not be just by fiscal year. Like some of them, are up to 3 fiscal years or 2 fiscal years or
Right.
1.5. So we added term agreement links. And then within the special projects, which wasn't necessarily the direction we were headed initially, but with these last revisions, he had sent over that the special projects also produce quarterly reports. Clearly I'm not tied to it either way. We're just following the recommendations from the attorney. So if that's something, there are two different funding sources. Operational support, falls in line with capital investment. So it looks more like that. So if special projects was not requiring quarterly reports, I'm okay with that. But that is one of the other major revisions from what you guys received last week. But it's not necessary. It's not different from the other grants, I guess. There's nothing.
Right.
It just puts it in line with the other grants.
Okay.
So how many times does the special projects grants? I mean, don't they normally get the money and they spend it pretty shortly? I mean.
Yeah, everything for the special projects is upfront funded, and then as with the other grants, they're just required to submit final reports. Those final reports have never required any sort of supporting documentation to tie to their project or event that they're doing. So this would just make that a requirement within their grant for quarterly reporting. And if an entity didn't have anything to report for a quarter, I would just expect that, something from an email or something on letterhead that said nothing to report for this quarter would be acceptable documentation to just move forward.
Right.
I think Brooklyn, with some of the special projects, it seems like I've noticed that it seems like they provide the copies.
Yes, there are entities that do provide the receipts for supporting documentation, but it's not lined out in the final report that they're necessary documents. So that's just those entities, I guess, go above and beyond what's in the requirements as far as submitting supporting documents.
Right. And I visited with Brooklyn just a little bit this morning. I was kind of concerned about the quarterly because we're getting it, we've approved it. They've got a project, but I was kind of worried of.
We don't want to overburden.
Yes. And
now, are you talking about just on the special project?
I was just, and I don't know. I was thinking, do we have to have quarterly or semi? I could see some of it, but I don't know. And we need to be consistent, but I was concerned about additional workload for
some of them is a large amount of money, so.
Yes, I think I do appreciate the thoughts there, and I understand where that comes from. So thank you. But I do think that a quarterly report would allow them to be smaller reimbursement requests instead of them coming either once a year or twice a year, where then you're having to review a larger amount of invoices and compare them to what they're requesting for reimbursements or what they're requesting for their project. So I personally like the quarterly. And I honestly, this is how we do the capital investment. It's how we've been doing the capital investment grant since I've been here. And when they submit that documentation, it's fairly easy to go through because, they're sending over their reconciliation report, which you're just checking off invoices to make sure that money has been expended or that it's matching what they're saying it is. So I honestly don't think it'll be, I guess we'll know after this 1 year. And if it's something that doesn't seem feasible, then we revisit it. But
the other thing is, you know, I also checked with you to see what, you know, the burden would be to,
Yeah,
you know, administration, but also, you know, we don't want to discourage those who are applying as well. But all things considered, I believe that consistency is best. And, you know, these are grants, and with grants come conditions. And this shouldn't be too much of a lift for, especially on the, you know, I'm basically talking about the special projects. Just a lot of those are community events, things that are happening. And there wouldn't be a lot of additional reporting because normally the expense occurs and then for the other quarters, it's going to say nothing to report for some of these.
Agreed.
So I think that's gonna be fairly simple, just some communication back and forth with the entities.
Well, and once they expend all their money, they really wouldn't need to submit additional reports after that, would they?
No, at that time, they could just submit, you know, their final report that is due at the end of the fiscal year. But of course, we encourage them to submit those reports as soon as their project or event is done throughout the year
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah, I think that's,
So if they built the project in the first 3 months, then they'd only be submitting one report anyway,
right.
Yeah.
rather than going down to the deadline.
And then I do think the capital investment and, you know, which is the procedure we're currently using and the operational support, we're gifting a lot of money. And I think the quarterly reporting is a responsible decision. They're also going to know if something's awry quickly, rather than a year down the road.
Well, and all of those entities should have good reportable accounting systems.
Yeah.
If they're asking for a large amount of money.
Yeah, I think that this is a reasonable, proposal. And I'm glad we've had legal counsel look over our grant agreements.
Oh, it's a lot easier to go back 2 or 3 months looking for stuff rather than searching back a year later and trying to figure out where some receipt is.
Yeah. So do we want to, we've just seen the revisions. Are we comfortable with the revisions that we've reviewed? We will put the revised grant agreement, of course, if that's what we choose to do online. Are we comfortable with that? Approving it with revisions
I am.
today? Okay. Any further discussion?
I'm good.
Ready for motion?
I'll move to approve the revised capital investment, operational support and special project grant agreements as presented, and also with addition of the few changes that Brooklyn just spoke about.
And that, did you say operational support too?
Yes,
Okay,
capital, operational, and special.
okay. Second,
Okay, it has been moved and seconded to approve the revised capital investment, operational support and special projects grant agreements as presented with revisions presented by Brooklyn Griffith by email today. Any further discussion?
no, but thank you, Brooke, for the summary.
Yes.
That helped.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Screwed the wording up on that.
All right.
You'll make it look good. Okay. Just have to leave it.
6.2, consider adoption of youth employment program policy. Is Amy Nation on? Yes, okay. Amy, would you like to present the briefing in the summer youth employment program policy and agreement?
Sure, thank you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. In speaking with our attorneys and Judge Patnode, I honestly can't even remember how the conversation started, but we had discussed that we didn't have a formal policy just outlining. We had contracts that we did every year with the businesses, but it was felt that maybe a more formal policy to protect the county from any risk and liability was in order. So we actually began working on this last summer, and we finished it up here about a month ago with legal counsel. And what's in front of you is what they had recommended. Really, there's not a lot of changes to what we have historically done. It's just put into a formal policy. The biggest change was the insurance requirements, which we have not previously done. We've always had the businesses submit a copy of a BOLI certificate for any youth under 18, just to make sure they're following BOLI requirements. But we didn't have, the attorney had recommended, excuse me, that the businesses they just name Gilliam County on their policy and submit a copy of that policy to us. So in the event that something should happen with a youth and the business is sued, Gilliam County is protected. And I did ask our attorneys, because I was a little bit confused. I said, well, they're not really on our payroll. Like, this is a reimbursement program. And the attorney had said, but because we reimburse the businesses for the wages, their insurance could still come back and sue Gilliam County. So this is to protect Gilliam County should anything happen. The attorneys assured me that there would be no, or possibly a very small cost to the businesses to do this. I did meet with John Anderson last week just to talk to him about this. He also said that this was a really good idea. He said if there is any cost, it'd probably be very minimal, maybe $20 to the businesses. And he's also, for example, the school reached out to me with a copy of their insurance policy this morning just to get ahead of the game, and they didn't name Gilliam County, but they're insured by Wheatland. So John is actually just going to contact them and get it done for them.
Right.
So, it sounds like it's a very simple thing for the businesses to do. John assured me they can just even send this policy once it's adopted over to their insurance company if it's not John. And it's a simple fix. And then the agent can send them a copy of the insurance certificate, which they'll give to us. So that's the biggest change. Everything else, it's a lot of legal wording, but it's things that we've done. It's just put into a formal policy now.
Good. Anybody have questions? So
$1 million with 2 million in aggregate is only $20 to add to your policy?
That's what John had told me.
Wow.
That's the like base insurance for a lot of companies.
Yeah, I brought him the actual policy and let him know that it'd be going in front of you guys this week because I was a little nervous if there were questions around this piece, if I would be able to answer them. And John said this is all very typical wording, very good for the county to adopt, and that yes, if there is any charge, it would be very minimal, maybe $20. And some agents might not even charge at all because all it is already taking the insurance they already have, the liability insurance they already have, and just writing Gilliam County's name on it.
All right.
I think
Good.
I would have thought it would have cost a couple more zeros.
I know, and I was like,
I guess I think what she's saying is to get the certificate, your as certificate holder, the entity would be not their insurance premium is not $20. It costs $20 for them to add them as additionally insured.
Okay.
Thank you, Brian. Yes.
Thank you.
Because they should already they'll probably already have the insurance to cover their own business. They're just adding Gilliam County on it to protect us.
Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. Any questions? Okay.
that was the only one.
Thank you.
That was the only one
Okay.
about that.
Thank you for your work on this, Amy.
Yes.
Yes, I appreciate the suggestion. I think it is a really good idea to protect the county moving forward in case anything should happen with one of our kiddos working.
Okay. All right. Do we have a motion?
I'll move to approve the Gilliam County Youth Employment Program Policy and Host Participant Program Application as presented.
I will second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. It's a great program for the youth in Gilliam County. All grant funded, correct, Amy?
Correct.
Yes.
We do have some, if there is a big need, we do still have a line item of some county dollars, but I do not anticipate needing it between our Oregon Youth Corp grant and our juvenile crime prevention grant.
Great.
That should cover all of the placements we have, so.
Thank you very much. All right, let me back up. We had another member of the public step in. Did you want to address the Fenn Court briefly, or just here?
Hello, yeah.
Okay.
Superintendent Jonathan Frost, and just coming, I knew there were some things on here that were important and feel like I need to come more often as well. Just to be here, and it's hard to get away from the buildings, since I'm principal and superintendent at the same time. And so, but just here, there's nothing directly today to.
Good.
But yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, but thanks for approving the last thing, because that does affect us and we'll be working with those students, so the youth.
Good. All right, announcements. Next meeting, June 3rd, 10:00 a.m., Gilliam County Courthouse. We will have the grant consideration for the grant applications on that agenda. So that will be on that. And then, I have a drive. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, that agenda. Let's see, update from Marina and Company on the audit. We may have a written report rather than a verbal report. They may have a conflict that day, but we are having weekly meetings with Marina and Company on their progress. Let's see,
What did you find out about the additional amount that if we have to pay them more?
we don't have a round figure yet. We're gonna talk with them about at 2:30 today or 2:00 today.
Okay.
But that's still pending, depending upon their progress.
Okay.
Okay, I have an idea, and it's a Gilliam County contest. I actually stole this idea for another county. What do you love about Gilliam County? Going to be kindergarten through 6th grade,
Yes.
correct? And we'll all decide the winner. The winner of the contest is Condon and Arlington schools. It will be a picture and a statement, and it will be framed and displayed in the courthouse, whoever the winner is. So that will come to us at the June meeting. So something positive and involving the kids. We have a fee schedule adoption coming from planning. So that will be on the agenda. That's a tentative agenda. Potential investment policy, financial reconciliation policy, administrative assistant position description, a proposal for library assistant position description, and normal business and the grants. That's tentatively what's on the agenda. And then from there, I have a tentative proposal for some work sessions. The June 3rd agenda, actually, one other item is there's potentially going to be a public hearing for an accelerated redemption of a foreclosed property. And that is tentatively on the agenda for June 3rd. That's proposed by the assessor's office. June 17th, we need to begin discussing the economic enhancement ordinance. Whether or not we're going to consider the input we received through the budget committee and work through that. And then our strategic plan. The plan is in August to work on that with 4 work sessions. So that's kind of the upcoming things this summer. We have the sale of the 3rd property on Court Street that didn't sell through House Bill 2089. That property's minimum bid is taxes and fees. Is it 8,000 approximately, 8,000 even? And so hopefully that property will be sold and developed. That's June 28th.
May 28th.
Sorry, May 28th at 5:00 in the courthouse steps. And what did everybody else have?
So we had our first Fair Board meeting at the event center, and we did a walkthrough to look at all the things that need fixing, and then came up with a fee schedule for that. And our new office it's coming along. It's up and wrapped and
Yeah, you have walls up, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I said, they must have another project somewhere there. And Jeb Shaw said, yes, they do. So they're hopefully steaming right ahead on it.
Did they ever get their gravel that they needed there, do you know, or?
Yeah, I don't think they needed that much. I think they hit bedrock and then had to bring in some kind of hammer
Oh,
to get yeah. And then I drove all the way to Pendleton thinking I had a meeting for KEPCO, and if I'd have read my email the day before, it was canceled. So that was a wasted trip. So go ahead, Grant.
just a few things here on, Cree meeting on 5/8. Budget around 200,000. They're trying to get, our executive director, James Williams, up-to-date contract. We've kind of set a partial one before he came in and stuff. But anyway, it's in the works. I think they're going to be agreed upon to get him I think it's a 2-year contract. And, we had,
Cause was he an interim?
yes. And then there was, I forget the guy's name, dang it. Gave a really good presentation on data centers.
Oh, okay.
David Brown.
David Brown, thank you. Yes, I just went blank. And yeah, there's more coming out, I think, on it, but a lot of good information, a lot of misinformation. But it was very interesting.
Where is
to hear.
David Brown from?
He's
Where
a
does he work?
private enterprise. It's a Korea meeting.
Oh,
I think he's Central Oregon, isn't he, somewhere? I'm not sure where he lives. But
I don't know, it was Portland area, but he's made the rounds on other proposals.
yeah, he's very educated on a lot of the projects and everything. But yeah, so I mentioned the SIP funds, and Morrow County's 21, we're 93,000 because we were more because we had an overpayment. I think we were normally 110, 115. Anyway, Sherman's 29,000,
yeah.
145,000 basically is of the 200,000.
So that means
Two
that
counties.
we pay Korea a portion through our existing SIP agreements for
Right.
free to operate, right?
Yes.
But
and-
now Shepherd's Flat's gonna roll off.
Yes, and I reminded them of that, but my gosh, there's that great big one going in Sherman too, but I don't know how long that's gonna be till it gets on there, but anyway, everybody's like,
Yeah.
because we spend a lot on lobby on attorney. Anyway,
Is that one in Sherman County? Is that solar project?
up by Grass Valley. Yeah. I think it's gonna be very substantial. And I think they're supposed to start next year.
Like, is it 9,000 acres?
I
or-
think so. Yeah.
But I thought that the one in Morrow County was gonna be 11,000.
That's supposedly the one off that, yes, that one's supposed to go off that Bombing Range Road, kind of east there. And I heard that kind of fell through, but I heard rumor that Amazon picked it up. I don't know if Jed knows, but supposedly they're running with the project, and I was told that they're even paid to have the panels. But I don't know. This is all just information I heard.
This is all solar.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I know, cause I've heard that Amazon snapping up whatever land they can.
Yeah, it was at least 10,000 acres. I think 1,000 megawatts
Okay.
of just solar.
Yeah,
But, in the last meeting, we spoke a little about the industrial park. I did meet with Daryl after the meeting, and he's working on some things we talked about. I still got to get with Dewey, because like I said before, I think we need to get on a plan, these hydrants to replace them. Or
Yeah.
come up with some, formulate something. I don't know if I'll have it done by the next meeting, but I know he's getting ready to get in his busy season too, but we'll see where he lands on it with his conversation. I don't know, maybe we might look at contracting that, I don't know,
Yeah.
but something we need to do.
Mhm. Well, the industrial park is 25 years old now.
Yeah.
The maintenance is
Yeah.
coming,
And follow up, when I spoke up last meeting, I did meet with Anthony, the deputy. He hasn't got back to me on some costs for cameras or whatever, but
Oh,
I want to get some costs, just something to bring back to the court. See what everybody's thoughts
for,
are.
for the,
the
That they
garbage.
could use for garbage.
Right.
And Chris Rayburn has not gotten back to me about signage. I'll try to have something follow up the next meeting on
Good.
that. I'm trying to catch up with Rob Turry at Pioneer Community.
Mhm.
I spoke to a couple of contractors. Anyway, just trying to get something going, and I want to get with Jed also. But trying to see if we can come up with some kind of incentive to
Yes,
get somebody to come build.
right.
And that brings me to my next thing. The old Arlington Motel down here, David Jones has been. Pacific Power has been kind of an issue. He can't go any further with his development. He's got to have 3 powers. It's the existing power that came into the old motel. He can't get going on it until they just need to remove 3 poles and cut the power on. He's got his electrical engineer that submitted all his information to these guys, to Pacific Power. I'm gonna follow up with him this week to see because the guy was supposed to promise him this week that he should have an answer. He's got his process he's going through with all the electrical and stuff also, but for him to actually get going on the rest of it, he's got to have these poles and power. And he's been trying since February.
Delay.
Yes, and I can email you this, but he's got a very documented record starting back in January. Who he's talked to, yeah, we're gonna get on next week, and didn't happen. I went to the wildland meeting the other day here, put on by Pacific Power. Kind of disappointed. It was here, this is what we're doing. And anyway, I gave this information in my card to a lady. I was like, is there somebody that you could put me in touch with to try to follow up on this? And I've not heard back from her either. So
Yeah.
but I know David is very frustrated, and he wanted to be a lot farther down the road than he is right now. So,
Right.
But anyway, Norcor. So that's tomorrow. As you know, the extra money they were throwing on for the juvenile, they pulled that back. They were going to bill Sherman and Gilliam another 66,000.
And that didn't happen.
No, they did remove it, yeah, because they were not going to fill this position. I just don't know. I'm really concerned about it. I think, like I said before, the staff is doing everything they're doing down there, but we're gonna have to increase revenues. I don't know what else they can do. But like I said at the last meeting this month, I think we're getting to a crucial bridge that we're gonna have to decide if we're gonna do something, maybe 5% is not enough. But they're, like I say, almost 3 million of it's just the PERS and insurance. Insurance goes up 20% 1st January, and 8 million of it's payroll. That's pretty much almost the budget. We're just barely being able to do what they're doing, not taking care of the facility, but
Do you know how many people are employed in the adult side versus the juvenile side?
I could find out.
I'm curious.
I know Joyce had mentioned at the last meeting that I think they had 3 or 4 positions that they were not gonna fill, they took out of the budget. And then they were lucky to get somebody back that was, or hire somebody that was already fully trained that could hit the ground. And because it takes them a year when they hire somebody to get them trained in 12 months. And then anyway, they had about two people that they were able to fill some vacant positions with. That's gonna help cut the overtime because the overtime was overshooting their budget. But I don't know. This is, you know, the crossover committee, they were meeting again, I think, but one of the other things in the budget was the non-represented people were not going to get a raise. That was about 133,000, but I just not good. But anyway, and I'm going to try to the start of every month have an update on Cedar Springs Road from Annie.
Oh, good, great,
So everybody's in the loop on that,
good,
and so we can keep pushing.
great.
I believe Dewey said that they had done a little surveying out there, but I don't know if that's or something. I don't know if that's mixed in with that gas. I don't know, but I hope to have a more day one when we start next month. But yeah,
That's a lot.
I'm
Good.
I think it's going to come up tomorrow. You know, I think that we're definitely looking at more revenue that we're going to have to increase to our county to for Norcourt. And, you know, the juvenile, it's, I don't know where we're going.
Right. Well, the way I see it is if we have time, I don't think budget time, now we have time because the budget's set.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
We'll have some time to make decisions.
Yeah.
Because budget time, I don't feel is a time to make rash decisions. You need a year to.
Well, and like I say, you know, the
Cause
Shepherd's
they
Flat.
haven't come close to passing their budget yet, have they?
Norcourt, no, we just went through it once, and I think they're hoping to adopt it maybe tomorrow, but
Right.
I'm, you know, I don't know where everybody's landing. I think everybody was going back to their county and,
Right.
you know, but you know, the other thing is, like I say, our Shepherd's Flats, that's rolling off, and where, you know, where is the property tax?
Well, we're in a time right now that, and we budgeted for last year of SIP under Shepherd's Flat for 26, 27, and we have no data to know how that's going to equate to property taxes, and I think we need to be sure of what that data is before we promise anything.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, we're also in this 1 year period of just not knowing.
Yeah, and I think the only thing I ever heard was when some of the ones rolled off in Sherman County that the taxes were better than they expected, so.
Yeah.
Oh, it was more than what they expected.
You know, they're centrally assessed, and yes, this was repowered, but then how is it gonna depreciate as well over time?
Yeah.
So we don't wanna spend it all in the first year and then find out in the next 4 or 5 years that we're gonna have a huge loss. So it's just, we just have to carefully plan, and we should be okay. There's just a lot of factors at play.
Yeah. Tax appeal, you may already latest on that, just still kind of in limbo.
Yeah, I checked with, I don't think we have an update from the assessor's office, but check with the assessor's office. We can have Anya do that and then let you know. If there's any updates that the lower court was going to have to make a ruling based on the higher court's decision, which was in the favor of the Department of Revenue.
It seems like it's dragging on
Mm-hmm.
and on.
Yeah.
So,
So, cause they lost their appeal and they sent it back to the lower court. Okay.
Mhm. That's how I understand the process. Right, okay, good, thank you.
So I will say, like 3 years ago, I think Norcourt, they knew they were gonna be falling off this cliff. So,
well, That's the challenge is, you know, they just, their contracts. You know, even when Paul was there, you know, he said in 2005, can't live this way forever. And there's another 20 years, you know, and Jeff Justin, I think he's gonna take Scott Hayes' position on there.
Which is good.
Yeah, so it's just like, yeah, you're just hoping for contracts and, you know, I don't know. I just, like I said before, I feel so bad for the employees there because they're doing everything they can, the staff. And it's every year, oh, what's gonna happen?
Well,
And we're not doing anything to the building, the facilities, so.
well, it's similar budget committee meeting yesterday with 911, not as dire today, but, they collect, it's actually the county collects and 911, manages the system. It's approximately $2 million a year, and that includes Jefferson County's PSAP tax money. But the 12 employees that we have, you know, eats up a lot of that. And tech costs are continuing to go up with all of the tech related things you have to have for that. And so the issue of Jefferson County pays a user fee based on a formula in the IGA with them. The 3 other counties don't at this time because our contribution for the PSAP money is, you know, in the black in comparison to the expense because we don't have the population base and there's some other factors as well. But there could come a day when we do have to pay user fees. So there's a lot of things that we statutorily have to do, such as having a jail facility, having a 911 system that we need to remember. Those are statutory responsibilities that we have, that if we have to pay, we have to be able to find the funding to do it and project and be prepared that if that's happening down the road.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hood River County they're not very flush with cash, are they?
No.
And so they're not probably wanting to pay much more than they already are.
No, and see, I think it was last year, they just passed, I believe some kind of safety bond. That has to do with their law enforcement or something, and, you know, like I said, the sad part is we missed a chance to,
Yeah,
in 17 to put it on a tax base. And Wasco was the only one that failed.
Wasco was the only one that,
Yeah, Hood River, Sherman and Gilliam supported it,
Mhm.
but I don't know, just.
Yeah.
Concerned about the building and just fall in.
Mhm. Yeah,
Anyway.
okay.
Do you suppose they'll take another shot at trying to get it on that?
Well, listening to Hood River and Wasco County, they don't think it's even. Yeah, there's not a good time. This is not the time. I think Sherman and Gilliam would support it, but Hood River and Wasco, they seem pretty adamant that good luck with trying to pass it right now.
Wow.
So, but like I say, what do? We were doing everything we can. The staff is,
Yeah.
Gotta have it.
Yeah, have to have it. Sure. Hey, is there anything else? Okay, next meeting is June 3rd in Condon. No further business, this meeting's adjourned.